Hey, you. Good evening and morning to you. I'm Dig That, and I don't usually regurgitate Star Citizen monthly reports, but there were so many goodies coming together for this here verse that we two-step in, I had to step out of my lane and share it with you.
I couldn't help but notice your pain. It runs deep. Share it with me.
This is gonna be a good old straighten up your room, clean off your desk, or kick your feet up while you just listen type of video. Help your boy out by making sure you like up, sub up, and ring up like a boss. The AI content team gave birth to new worker behavior, which gives CIG the ability to apply traits to specific types of NPCs like leaning, expecting, cooking, etc. I still say I want to be able to cook up harvestables on an 890. Don't let them take my job, man. The first reaction system, which lets NPCs break out of an animation to react to stimuli like gunshots or hostiles, has been upgraded to include usables. So if the worker that's typing away behind the counter hears weapons fire, they'll stop what they're doing and maybe cower behind the counter like Ruby Rod when the Mangalores got to shooting up the space yacht opera. Maybe the custodial crew will slap you with a broomstick when they catch you run screaming in your underbritches. Pre-visualization has began on some cool new things. One is the dealer, which is a mobile vendor that you can buy and sell things to. Hooray for selling. The dealer will carry one-handed items on him. I'm picturing a trench coat full of who knows what, as long as he has on clothes underneath. For two-handed items, you'll be directed to the dealer's nearby shop. A second pre-visualization pass was completed on Pyro usables. We all knew Pyro was going to be a rough place, but the AI content team is hard at work creating usables to really sell the theme of sickness, greed, and poverty. Be a good idea to use reference assets from Detroit. Stealth combat has been worked on by the AI feature team, including a feature that will contextually adjust your field of view. Upgrades have been made to NPCs selecting places to find cover via new functionality that computes path distances. The AI tech team has made improvements to the Pathfinder system, allowing them to move NPCs from one location on the planet to another, and work began on a navigation mesh, which basically defines where NPCs can traverse without breaking their nose on a cliff face. The creatures will know all the good terrain to sneak up on you while you're out there hand-mining rocks. Very exciting was a feature that was delivered which will allow players to lead a formation of AI ships. This is a feature for Squadron 42, but will also be in the PU down the road. Work continued on a subsumption editor, which, if I'm not mistaken, dictates what actions or priorities an NPC will have based on ridiculous amounts of variables, like if an NPC engineer's ship is boarded, his next action will be based on his current morale, his nourishment levels, his experience, the pirate's reputation, the weapons available to him, or whatever else you can think of. Then again, subsumption could be what you die of in Oregon Trail. The animation team have been burning up their Logitech mice, working on Pyro vendors that sell illegal goods, food, and other items. They've made progress with medical behavior like healing and other medical usables. Inebriated locomotion, aka the drunk walk of shame, is being worked on. I'm gonna need them to make that one as crisp as they can get it. Cowering and surrender behaviors progressed. I plan on walking out the back ramp looking like a G when I surrender to 12 popos trying to strap me up with the Hannibal Lecter mask. Additional seated animations were added. I'm gonna need CIG to expand those to players. I'd like to blend in a bit with the other characters right before I walk up behind a bounty with the good old stun gun. A mocap shoot has been arranged for hygiene cubicles, yes. Hacking, yes. Arcade machines, yeah. As well as additional vendor animation and unwell seating. Unwell seating, what is that? Like sitting awkward because you have the runs from eating the wrong harvestables? The character art team has been cranking out assets for 315, including a new heat-resistant heavy armor to replace the Pembroke suit. When they say replace, do they literally mean replace? Cause I'd rather have them both, man. Especially since the team reworked backpacks attached to armor cores to make them individual modular items. I want to take the backpack off the Pembroke and scream, "Danger, Will Robinson," because it kind of looks like those old school robots. Several new backpacks have also been finalized, so we'll have some options out there. The art ships team completed an unannounced but previously mentioned ship, and all that's left to do is create additional paints for it. Any guesses on what that ship is? The Redeemer is close to final art complete, and the team is finalizing the interactive buttons in the cockpit and around the ship. White box phase is just about complete for the whole A, and the whole C is being brought up to gold standard. 2 unannounced vehicles are moving through the pipeline, with one approaching final art and the other in gray box review. If one's a rock with 2 exterior bucket seats, I'm fighting everybody. Refueling work was done on the Starfarer. This was shown in the previous Inside Star Citizen and it's pretty snazzy, so go check it out. The A2 Herc has passed its final art review. The Crusader Ares has gone through its final art phase. The Drake Vulture, can't wait for this. The cockpit, hab area, ladder passage, and cargo hold are getting close to gray box complete. Let's go salvage. And I quote, an all-new vehicle is almost gray box complete, while art for the variant mentioned last month was finished. In my head, I'm thinking Apollo, but I'm sure that's not right. What do you think? Just when you thought Orison or Orison couldn't get any sexy flexier, the sound effects and dialogue teams added ambiances and spot effects to some areas. New voiceovers and music were also added. I hope there's some crowd ambiance to make it feel even more live out there. Ambiance and spot effects were completed for the Criminal Hospital, or the Grim Hex Hospital if you like that better. Voiceovers are being added in there so you can hear how painful the treatments are. That's kind of creepy. Criminal Hospital, home of bloodletting and leeches. Mechanism and explosion sound effects were added to the Moabs. Prep for CitizenCon kept on trucking, and level ambiance will be demoed during the event. The physics team advanced work on physical quantum travel, which allows them to make the equivalent of a blind quantum jump and drop out before hitting the moon along the travel path. More work on a Gen 12 renderer went down. Atmosphere and volumetric clouds were worked on by applying a lot of techie-specky words, which will improve GPU performance. This is ongoing work, but the team hopes to roll it out soon. Additional work on clouds was submitted, some of which is intended to improve the look of the cloud edges to give them a more volumetric feel. Code was reworked to give cloud shadows more detail at the same performance cost. Optimizations were added to spatial culling, which will be used for server meshing. Code them all and ask questions later. Throw that on a white tee. The features team went through bug fixing and polishing for the new player inventory and actor status features. Good quote from the features team here. Some of the more amusing bugs included looting a dead player and finding their ship and all its vehicle weapons in their inventory, and lowering a gurney to put an injured player on it, but at the end of the animation it starts bouncing around killing everyone. Work on separating animations for humanoid, creature, and mechanical skeletons should lead to a reduction in memory usage in heavily populated areas, so that's a good thing. The US gameplay features team made moves with the NikNax app from the previous month's report. This is the Mobi Glass app that keeps tabs on where all your crap is currently located around the verse. It's now feature complete and in the polishing phase. Development on dynamic events continues. Quote from the gameplay features team. We began working on Jumptown 2.0, the next dynamic event where outposts become hyper lucrative, tempting players to fight to control the area and gather as much profit as possible. More info on that coming very soon. Work continued on Trade and Development Division, or TDDs, for the Cargo Refactor, yay, Cargo Archetype Editor, and the new Shopping and Selling Initiative. Development for Jump Points was ramped up. The bombing feature entered the review stages. Balance for new 315 ships and final issues for the current patch release are being wrapped up. The narrative team worked on text for new mission contracts, as well as expanding the organizations and gameplay scopes in the Mobi Glass app Delphi. Work was done for the Intergalactic Aero Expo and upcoming dynamic events. Audio was recorded for security forces. Work began on a new mission type, glad to hear that. Quantum continued to be worked on. Work began on an NPC tracker, which allows them to be tracked between servers. An escrow service was completed. Not escort service, man. Ship wake effects began. Dust, snow, and whatever else is on the ground will be kicked up as ships fly across the surface. Hopefully that includes water. And that, my friends, is an August monthly report. Anything that caught your ear? I want to know what happens when an NPC has $10 worth of quarters and won't get off the arcade game you want to play. Are they gonna mocap me putting them in the full Nelson and going, shh, go to sleep? Anyway, tell me what you liked, didn't like about what they're working on and about this video. This kind of content for you or nah? Holla back. My name is Dig That and I'm the head of the Cheesecake Syndicate. Fly dirty citizen.